and never will. So you'd expect Star Trek to have this big vision of things. And he incarnated in a lot of very interesting lives, as I know all of us have, beginning in Atlantis as a high priest. He was also St. Joseph, Merlin, Christopher Columbus, and Sir Francis Bacon, who was Shakespeare. And after that life, he ascended, but he came back and hung out in the royalty in Europe, trying to unite Europe and avoid the French Revolution. He was a very close friend of Louis XV, Voltaire, and Rousseau. But that was not happening. So he came to the U.S., and there are stories, even one that President Ronald Reagan brought up in a talk about him being with the Founding Fathers. The folks were gathered for signing the Declaration of Independence. It's July 4th, and the doors are locked, and they don't want to sign it because, basically they're going to get their heads cut off from England if they sign this thing. So suddenly a guy up in the balcony jumps up and he gives this great speech, and everybody, rushes down there, John Hancock, and signed it. And then they go looking around to thank this guy. Well, he wasn't there. How did he get in? The doors had been locked. So it's also said that he helped create the flag, and he anointed George Washington. So they called him the Wonder Man of Europe because they noticed he didn't age, he didn't even eat much food, and he was around for 200 years in that time in Europe before he came to the U.S. We know him as the master of the Aquarian Age. The next 2,000 years, he is the main hierarch from the company of heaven that we are to call on. Jesus was the hierarch of the last 2,000 years of the Piscean Age. Saint Germain is the hierarch of the Aquarian Age. And he is the keeper of the flame of freedom in every heart. He is the Lord or Chohan of the seventh ray. And he comes to teach us about freedom in some different ways. He asks us the question, what does it really mean to choose freedom? And he answers it. It means to free the electrons in your body and consciousness to flow with freedom's fire. It means to allow the electron to choose the path of freedom and not to subject that electron to the bondage of a limited consciousness, a limited matrix. It means to free your own self-awareness so that you can be aware of the self as having the potential of the infinite. It's a direct quote from Saint Germain. So he's getting into some real alchemy here. And he has come to teach us to use the energies that we have and have at our hand to free our soul. Nothing less than that. This earth is our school, and we have to take responsibility for our energy. What are we creating? Positive, negative. These things are really in high pitch right now. So I looked up this morning just to see how things were going in the medical field, and they are accelerating their use of the ultraviolet ray on healing. It was just they were doing healing skin cancers and melanomas and all this with ultraviolet light. Now they're even going inside of children and healing tumors. So it's just amazing that the medical community is onto that. It's a miraculous spiritual energy, spiritual flame. It's known as the sacred fire of transmutation and purification, which of course means freedom, justice, forgiveness, mercy, transmuting personal and planetary past errors in thinking, in feeling, in actions. It's like a cosmic vacuum cleaner of karma. It eliminates karma. And it is done with love. And I feel it's like the Holy Spirit. Violet has always been a very high frequency. And so, of course, when we're invoking it, we are already grounded and we're already full of love when we are doing this. So don't take this on faith. I want you to know what scientists are saying about why the violet flame works. Because people will just say, So it's the shortest wavelength of light. The shortest wavelength, therefore, the highest frequency of light that we can see. There are a lot of other frequencies. You go into the white after the violet, and then you go into another octaves. But we are considering it the highest. And since frequency is directly proportional to energy, the violet light also has the most energy. So it is basically the closest to matter in the essence of its vibration of being able to get in matter and be matter. It means it has the greatest ability to change matter at the atomic level. So what happens when you use the violet flame? Invoking the violet flame consumes the negative energy, transmuting it into positive energy. It can consume the negative layers of energy within and between the very atoms of your being. This sets energy free. We have a lot of coagulated stuff in there. So we can set the energy free. Unlock it from all the negativity that's held it in there. When you call on the violet flame, it sets up a polarity between the nucleus of the atom and the white fire core of the flame. So the nucleus being of matter, that's going to be negative. And the white flame is the positive, so the two come together and you have this cleaning and this bubbling and this restoring and this purifying back to native purity. There's this oscillation and this vibration. This is basic science, positive and negative. So the electrons begin to move freely, and this raises our whole vibration and raises our energy level. So why are we going to decree in just a moment here? Can't we just sit and think, go buy a nice lake or river and just, picture the violet and, talk to God in this way? Well, that's certainly good. But the spoken word is so powerful. You want to guard what you are saying now, every word you are saying, every thought you are sending out there. You have like 17 seconds, according to who? Esther Hicks and Abraham. If you've noticed, oh my gosh, I'm not in accord with that thought. That's not what I really think. Cancel, change it. So this is why we are learning to use the spoken word as the magic it really is. The word is magic. It starts in here. It starts creating. This is what we have. So that's why we are decreeing. And when you decree anything in the name of God, I am that I am, you all know this is key to manifestation. So I am a being of violet fire. I am the purity God desires. Simple. You can repeat that while you're driving in the car. So we want to use the name of God and the violet flame, and then you are a co-creator. You are like in a partnership with God. This is a great interactive relationship. You're being asked to supersize, become the real goddesses and that you are. The real priests and priestesses. So this is the time for transformation. And you might ask, well, why now? And the answer from heaven is like, well, why not? And it's even heard that somebody threw their glove down and said, I give up. This is kind of it. It's kind of like we're on the cusp here. So if they're throwing their gloves down, that's not a good sign. That means we have a lot of work to do. And all the world advanced. We've got bad weather, crazy politics, economics, terrorism. It's, well, can one person really do anything? And the answer, as you know, is yes. One person with spiritual power and tools can do a lot. So, I want to end here before we do the decree with something that Saint Germain said. And he basically is saying the main freedom he wants us to have is reunion with God. If we can be reunited with who we know we are, what we know is, our true selves, that reunion, that will bring in the new age. And these are his words to you. You are mortal. I am immortal, says Saint Germain. The only difference between us is that I have chosen to be free, and you have yet to make the choice. We have the same potential, the same resources, the same connection to the One. I have taken mine to forge a God identity. Choose to be what you really are. And when you really choose what you really are, you will be on the path of freedom, and you will find me there. I am your teacher, if you will have me. So, we're going to go to work, play. She'll pass these out, and I will tell you what we're going to do with them. And let's see, is there enough for me to have one? I don't have to use this.
But there should be, yes.
Okay.
Do you want?
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I gathered some of these into this, and it seems to work. We both played with it. And as we do this, actually before we do this, I opened my email this morning. I've been ignoring it lately, and there was a message, an angel message, number 9. I hadn't had time to read the other 8. They come like once a week or something. Anyways, number 9 was there. 9 is a great number. It means you've kind of gone over 7 and 8. 9 is like the new, very new. And it was about Archangel Zadkiel and his holy consort, Amethyst. And it was all about the violet flame. My gathering notes the last few days, if I just waited and opened that up, that was perfect. I could have just... But anyway, so it just showed that they're a part of this, and I want to thank them and invite them here even more powerfully.
Don't we want to stand up for this?
Oh, yes. So you can go ahead and stand up. And I want you during this to try and picture Violet.
Wake you up.
See her now. Picture Violet. I would like you to keep your eyes closed, but you can crack them. And if you want to look at Donald, he's got great Violet. So look around. Here's some Violet here. Here's some Violet here. I might be moving around a little, so you will see Violet knives.
Wendy's got her violets. You can look at her.
Somebody want to wear this?
Oh, yeah, someone should wear
Yeah,
that.
someone should wear this.
Priestess, some priestess, step up.
That'd be everybody.
Okay, there we, she steps.
Right. More than, here.
No,
So if I could have you maybe scoot back there a little bit, and you can scoot here a little closer to me, this way, so we're just in a little more circle, and she's not right in the middle there. There we go. Okay. You can go ahead, and so are the dogs going to be okay with a lot of loud noise? Better here than in the other room. In the other room, they might really wonder, huh?
Okay, we'll see, they might bark.
Okay, well, we don't care if they bark, but go ahead and keep doing what you're doing if they do, because that just means they're adding their energy. So we're going to picture Violet, and I want you to hold one hand. The violet is the only ray that actually comes up from the earth. So I would like you to have one hand here while you're reading. People don't realize that lightning comes up from the earth first and then down. They think it all just comes down. My friend told me, I said, yeah, I Googled it. It was right. So, yeah, so there we have it. And I'll read the first part, and then where it says all seven, all three, we're going to do that part together, and then I will do the close. Now, while we do this, I want you to really put yourself into it. Stay as present as you can. Speak as loudly as you're comfortable. We're not going to all be on the same word at the same time. It does not matter. How you are doing it is perfect. You're doing this for you, and also for the planet, for all beings. And so when I say I in anything I'm doing, you say that to yourself. This is your, thing. And we're going to go a little faster with each of the, where it says the sevens, the three no. But the sevens, we will go a little faster each time we say it. And you can listen to us. I know we'll be on together. And we're going to also go a little higher. So, enjoy it. And so this is it.
And may I add, and don't stress. Okay, just do whatever feels
whatever you're
natural.
doing is
Don't worry
perfect.
about anything.
Yes. In fact, I'm going to have a sip of water.
Breathe in, open your channels.
We do forget to breathe.
Yeah, we do.
I have one teacher, and the main thing he always just says is breathe. It's like, that's a pretty good role. Whenever he says it, I realize I have not been. So, yeah. And if you focus on this chakra is where Zadkiel and Amethyst like to hang out there. And you also come into the power center in your being. You're not like up here in your brain, la 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 la. So yeah, focus in there, breathe in there. I call forth the energies of the sacred fire from the altar within my heart. I invoke the violet flame to blaze forth from the center of the threefold flame, from the white fire core of my own I am presence, multiplied by the momentum of the blessed ascended master, Saint Germain. I call forth the violet fire to penetrate my soul and to activate my soul memory of freedom and the original blueprint of my soul's destiny. I call forth the violet transmuting flame to pass through my 4 lower bodies and through my soul consciousness to transmute the cause and core of all that is less than my Christ perfection, all that is not in keeping with the will of God for my life stream. I am the violet flame in action in me now. I am the violet flame, to light alone I bow. I am the violet flame, in mighty cosmic power. I am the light of God, shining every hour. I am the violet flame, blazing like a sun. I am God's sacred power, freeing everyone. I am the violet flame, in action in me now. I am the violet flame, to light alone I bow. I am the violet flame, in mighty cosmic power. I am the light of God, shining every hour. I am the violet flame, blazing like a sun. I am God's sacred power, freeing everyone. I am the violet flame, in action in me now. I am the violet flame, to light alone I bow. I am the violet flame, in mighty cosmic power. I am the light of God, shining every hour. I am the violet flame, blazing like a sun. I am God's sacred power, freeing everyone. I am the violet flame, in action in me now. I am the violet flame, to light alone I bow. I am the violet flame, in mighty cosmic power. I am the light of God, shining every hour. I am the violet flame, blazing like the sun. I am God's sacred power, freeing everyone. I am the violet flame, in action in me now. I am the violet flame.